welcome. So Dr. Vidya here, and welcome to day 2 of our Heart Method workshop, your transformational leadership. So really excited to be with you here. So happy to connect with you. Do let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below, and I will, if I don't see it now, I'll get back to you as well. All right. So if you haven't watched day 1, watch day 1, where I really gave you an overview of my heart methodology. That's my own IP based upon my years of experience in emotional health, as well as in leadership, as a leadership coach and also as a doctor. So I'm here today to go through day 2 of the pillar, the second pillar of the heart method. And this is all about emotional regulation, emotional resilience, and emotional well-being. All right. So what I want to do is I just want to get my notes ready for you here. And I'm also just seeing that we are streaming live into the group. So sometimes it comes up a few minutes delayed, but I'm going to carry on. And I just wanted to say that live is beautiful, but we cover so many time zones here that please do not worry if you don't watch this live, okay? I am a firm believer in divine timing. Whatever time you watch it is right for you, when you are well rested, when you've spent your time with your family. Like my elder son is at home today with a chest infection, so it was important for me to obviously tend to him first, make sure he's okay, before I jump on here and do this impactful delivery for you. So I just want to express my deep gratitude for you to be spending your time with me right here, right now. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me for how much you're willing to invest into yourself. Right, this is part of self-care, in learning more about emotional resilience and self-leadership, and taking that to the next level for your team, your company, and your family. So what I want to share with you is that leadership and emotional resilience wasn't something that always necessarily came easy to me. And beforehand, I used to think, oh gosh, I'm so sensitive. I'm an empath, which I am. And I used to see them as a weakness, right? I used to see it as a weakness. But over time, what I've realized is it's actually my greatest gift. The fact that I'm an empath has allowed me to really use my intuition and tap into that very deeply. But what I learned along the way is that in order to do that, I had to really create a safe, healthy boundary around me, steeped in great self-awareness, in order to ensure that I could really serve at my highest level and my deepest level for my clients and patients, but at the same time, to not be absorbing, right? To be observing and to deeply connect, but to not absorb the energy, so that I can still be there for myself, for my family, and to be there long term. I'm not just here for a season. This is a lifelong vocation, right? So I needed to really ensure my own self-leadership and personal emotional resilience without just brushing off feelings that I was having. I really needed to sometimes decompress after certain consultations with clients or patients to really ensure I was ready for the next one, and for that to be just as impactful as well. And that's what I teach in my programs, as well as the exact strategies and how to go deep into that. In my high level programs, where you also have one-to-one coaching, daily embodiment practices, accountability, as well as actual coaching on a group level, and weekly one-to-ones, there you can really go deep and literally have me in your back pocket for whatever's going on for you, whether that's with the family, with your career or business, or with yourself. So leadership isn't about being perfect, okay? But what it is about is really taking things up, sometimes several levels at a time, and to be really very self-aware as to everything that's going on for you, and to come from a place of faith. And that is faith within yourself, faith in the divine, whomever or whatever you believe in. But I do believe in that level of faith. And it has to be something unwavering. It can't just be blind faith. It has to really be something that comes from deep within you. All right. So it's really, because for that's the reason you will really show up for yourself. not just for your team or your family, which is obviously, part of my greatest calling is being a mother and a wife and daughter and sister, but really to also be able to serve yourself, right? Like, even if I wasn't even paid for these workshops or for my coaching or for being a doctor, I know I would still do it, right? I would still do it. It is a part of me, and I absolutely love serving in this way. So this is about showing up for yourself even when times are challenging. You see it as this is how to grow through it, right? As you grow through something, not going through something, you're reframing it, so you're growing through it, you are actually becoming more courageous. You are realizing that the calmer you are, the faster you can actually go. Okay, you start to realize that courage is not actually always pushing through. Sometimes it is courage in non-action for a while and focusing on that faith within yourself and the divine. And it's not always about doing more and harder work, right? Sometimes it's about being reflective over where you're at right here, right now, and looking at what is the next best step for in implementing your vision. Okay, because this really is the era of implementation, but it's not necessarily hard work, and there's a lot of nuance in exactly what that looks like on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I'm all about action, but it has to be the right action. You don't want to be shattered and knackered when you come home, or I mainly work from home, for your family, and you're literally pouring from an empty cup. It's not good for you, it's not good for them. And this is what really boils down to emotional regulation. Okay, so this is why I really created the HEART method, is to really have a step-by-step framework on exactly how to be in alignment with your values, and to ensure that you are doing this with yourself, your faith, family, and your fitness first. Okay, so it's not a quick fix, all right, but it really does give you proven tools, and this is evidence-based, proven tools to allow you to rise with resilience, with joy and passion, right? Otherwise, what's the point? With joy and passion, and to really do this from a place of calmness, clarity, confidence, and conviction. All right. Now, I want to show you. So I'm here. I'm not better than you, right? I'm not ahead. I'm not more than you. I'm just here to guide you and just show you what's worked for me, and to just guide you, along this pathway. All right. So let's dive in. Now, I really want to just pause for a second and tell you why I really believe that I am the best guide for you. And this isn't meant with ego. I have loads of incredible colleagues in this space, and I'm not one to compete. I'm here to collaborate, because we are all serving with our own unique voice. But if you are drawn to this workshop, I want to just highlight a few certain things that I've achieved, which is in terms of being an award-winning doctor, as well as being an award-winning coach, and deepening my relationship with my divine soulmate, as well as with my kids, okay, and as well as my parents and my sister as well. So this is someone who has walked the path that you are on, okay, and I know what it's like when it can feel overwhelming, when it's sort of like family, and you've got marriage, and you've got a career that you love, but is really hectic, and there's a lot sort of reliant on that, and you're also building up your own vision as well, or taking your career to the next level, whether that's through your leadership to the next level, whether that's through your career or through your business. So what's setting me apart is my unique ability, I feel, to blend in healing alongside with leadership, okay, and through the vehicle of career or business, or both, like me, as well as family. Okay, so my teachings are evidence-based, is done through the lens of science, holistic science, as well as spirituality, because I really feel like both of those are important in terms of leadership, and why I teach this outside of my arena of being a medical doctor, because I do really believe in some of the modalities in holistic healing, which I think are incredible and really can help you, especially when you're all about self-leading, as you are as a top leader. So emotional regulation. Now, this is the cornerstone of effective leadership. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the workbook that's going to have all of these questions in it as well. Okay. But I want you to really think about, to respond instead of actually reacting. Okay. So responding instead of reacting. Okay, so I want you to start to think about situations, people, thoughts that constantly seem to trigger an emotion, a certain emotion in you that doesn't feel good. So anger, anxiety, and really leaning into that. Okay, because emotional regulation is the real cornerstone of effective leadership. And as we talked about in day one, that starts with you. Okay, it is your responsibility. I say this with love and light, but it is your responsibility to self-lead. It's everyone's responsibility to self-lead. Even if something has been going on that day, it is up to you to reframe it in a way that serves you, that serves your family, that serves your leadership, your team, while still then taking action on whatever needs to happen. Okay, you can't just, we all need to decompress our emotions, but you also need to be able to master that mental game and do that in an effective and speedy manner. Right? We don't want to sit in that emotion. All your emotions are valid. Okay, they are all valid, but equally, nobody wants to sit in a difficult, challenging, low vibrational emotion such as anger and anxiety for a long time. But often it can be called for, right, to feel angry or to feel anxious about something. It's not that the emotion is wrong. It's just, yes, it feels uncomfortable on a very cellular level. Pathologically speaking, physiologically speaking, it puts your body in an unhealthy state. But for a short period of time, whether that's minutes or hours or a couple of days, depending on the situation, it is the appropriate response. Okay, but what we want to do is learn, how do I regulate this? How exactly do I regulate this? And this is where meditation journaling really comes into hand. So by the way, do DM me the word journal. If you haven't received your journal, I'll send that through to you. But in my programs, we really do have specified journaling time and meditation specific to certain scenarios and situations that we really go deep on. And obviously when you have a one-to-one with me, we will really go deep into that as well. So what we don't want to do is to react. Okay, we want to respond. And that's easier said than done, but the more you practice this, the more that you can do this, because stress can really cloud our decision making, including with our family, when we have a lot sometimes on our mind, and it can then have an effect on our relationships, so personal as well as professional. Okay, so but when you do actually master emotional regulation, here's what it looks like. It looks like clarity and the real calm in the storm. You may not even view it as a storm. Okay, you may have even known that something was coming and preempted it, because why? You are so leaned into your intuition that you actually know you're mastering it. You know how to go ahead with that. Okay, so also have a think about what practices or tools can help you keep calm. What practices and tools help you keep calm? So for me, it's meditation, changing up the energy. So sometimes even exercise for like a minute or two, like jumping jacks, for example, getting some fresh air, being in nature. So some in between clinics, I'll often go for a walk, even if it's for like 5 minutes, just to change up the energy and to connect with nature. And having definitely plants in my room really helps for me to help connect with Mother Earth and nature as well. And it gives me perspective for the work that I'm doing as well, in terms of the holistic nature of it as well. So really think about these tools, and you need to have them ready and to hand for you to use as well. So I'd highly recommend that you write on the notes section of your phone some of the tools that can really help, like meditations and journaling, and so that it's ready for you to use it. And in the memberships, the Resilient Leader membership that I talked about yesterday, we have templates there for you ready to use in certain situations as well, so that it's already there for you, right? You're not struggling in that situation. And yes, it takes time. As you master it, what you'll find is it doesn't come up as often, that the emotion to that degree. You're able to regulate it faster, and the space in between something happening and you responding, not reacting, that space, the time wise, it is the same. It might just be a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes or a couple of hours, but it feels much longer, like tenfold, because you're so much more tuned in within. And that makes a huge difference when you are a leader in a high stake situation, whatever that looks like, and that can even be in your family sometimes, right, when there's a lot going on. But family, career, business, high stakes, mentoring the muscle game, mastering the mental game is integral. Okay, So really reflect on what exactly has worked for you in the past. And I want you to really commit to trying one new grounding technique. And I'm going to post in a meditation into the group on grounding meditation, which is only 7 minutes long. And a lot of my clients find that this really helps, that they just listen to it. You can even go to like your bathroom cubicle or go for a walk and listen to it. It really helps to just press this mental reset button. Okay. And you can even create your own recording. All right. Okay, so this is not about suppressing your emotions. What we're doing is we are working through them. So you're not scared of being anxious or angry. It's not about that. It's not about the emotion. It's about how you're actually regulating it. Okay. And then finally, thinking more about resilience. Okay. So I want you to really think about, the fact that life can be testing at times and challenging, okay? Whether it's business so-called failures, career blocks, I don't think it's failures, I think it's reinvention, but careers, perceived roadblocks, challenges, sometimes issues of marriage or, with kids, behavior, it's all an opportunity for growth. Personally, something's being reflected back to us. I'm not saying it's our fault, but sometimes being reflected back to us, it's an opportunity for growth, okay? And it's really about using these as stepping stones and as lessons. That is the difference in being resilient. Okay, so you're not ignoring it, you're reframing it into something that suits you, but you're also obviously having healthy boundaries as well. Okay, so without resilience, setbacks can feel like a dead end. But with resilience, every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, to adapt and to rise up and really thrive, not just survive in a challenge, but to really thrive and turn it into an opportunity. So in self-leadership, resilience is keeping you moving forward. Okay, in career and business leadership, resilience is enabling you to be the captain of that ship and really navigate through uncertainty and just know the next best step every single time with unwavering faith and trusting yourself and having incredible decision-making capabilities is so important, so you don't keep going backwards and forwards and wasting time, and you can take the right action. And there's also family leadership. Okay, so resilience actually shows your loved ones that challenges don't define you. Okay, it's not about the challenge, it's how you are choosing to respond, and there is a choice. Okay, so as my mentor Bob Proctor always used to say, growth, challenges are inevitable, okay, or change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. And I like to say is that challenges can be inevitable, but again, your response is a choice, right? You have a choice to respond or to react. You can even park it and say, this needs some careful thinking and I'll be back. Right? You don't have to give a response then and there. You can choose to park it on, right? But you need to have the self-awareness to do that, right? So, this is requiring some careful thinking, and I'm literally going to go and do that now. And you can rearrange when you want to do that depending on the situation, okay? So you're still having respect for whoever else is involved in this scenario of challenge. So finally, I want to focus on well-being and empowerment, okay? Because the truth is that you really can't lead effectively if you don't manage your own well-being. Getting the 8 hours sleep. I know there's sometimes hectic deadlines, but putting it into perspective that if this is your vocation long-term, then actually getting enough sleep is important, right? Health, the tree of life, health is the tree trunk, is the first pillar. And that you need to keep that strong through strength training, through walking outside, getting your 10K steps, doing flexibility exercises, so you live a long life so that you have more time to carry out your vocation and to really create your legacy, right? And to scale it up. So when you feel good, you lead better. It's not always about the words. It's coming from a place of abundance in sleep, abundance in self-care. It's an energy. People can feel that. And actually, if as a leader, because you're a leader, if you're watching this, I would actually go as far as saying it is your responsibility. Okay, it is your responsibility to lead by example with your faith, family, and your fitness first. Okay, it is your responsibility in that fitness pillar to really lead with, are you taking care of yourself? Because if you're not, that is an energy, it is a frequency, It's almost like people can feel that energy of, okay, so it's okay if we just we're expected to just not get much sleep, or to not have proper dinners, or to not go home and see our families on time, or not spend much time, as long as the KPIs are met. And that is not a good business. I don't care what the turnover is. It is not sustainable long term. And if you're having a high turnover of employees, or people just moving through the company, then that's also something to think about, right, in terms of sustainability. And seeing your team as a family in that way, in terms of how you treat them and respect. Every single relationship, whether it's romantic or not, deserves respect and understanding and seeking to understand, right? And we need to make deposits in those relationships, not just constant withdrawals. Okay, so you're modeling healthy leadership for you, your family, your team, okay, and for those that you're serving. Okay, so you're coming from that place. Okay, so, and you're setting the tone in your culture, your workplace culture, whether it's your own business or career, or in your family, you're setting the tone of resilience. But what resilience doesn't mean pushing through, it means well-being, right? Holistic, all the life pillars: health, wealth, work. I like to say service instead of work, but service, and then relationships, but relationships with yourself, with God, with your family, right? Everything is in balance. Okay. And sometimes it's not possible to achieve all of that in one day, but you certainly can across the week, across the months, however you want to manage it. Okay. But you take time out, and you see that. Do you know why? Because you take time to meditate, to journal. So you're very self-aware. And this is not selfish. This is being self-full. Okay. Because you are the foundation. You are a reflection of all of the relationships in your life. So this is so necessary. So this work is important now more than ever. In my consultations as a doctor, it is unprecedented how many fit notes I have to do to sign people off work. And I'm talking about top peak performers, top leaders, because they just get to a breaking point. The peak performance is a double-edged sword, because if you're not self-aware, you can actually keep going, and you can be in a workplace culture where that's considered, wow, amazing, well done, look at you, you can keep going and keep going. But that's not good if you're not self-aware that actually you're about to crash and burn, and then be off for several months, signed off, and the impact on your finances and your family and just your well-being and confusion, and that's not needed. You can still take time out as a sabbatical out of choice, right? When you're self-aware of, like, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to really lean into this project in the most balanced way possible. And I'm actually going to take this time off with my family, enjoy it. You've got stuff planned out or not planned, whatever you prefer. It's by choice. Again, you're choosing to respond, right? It's not react. And then the choice is sort of made for you, right? By having to be signed off. And then, that takes a certain amount of recovery. And if you're in that is fine. Okay. This isn't blame. So please, this is not blame. I'm just presenting another way. Okay, that it doesn't need to be that way. So you can really show up powerfully in your business, in your career, in your legacy building, right? If you're doing this long term, you know that, like, the only reason I have not had 8 hours sleep is because my youngest one was having nightmares, and then my eldest one was having fevers. So just managing that, and ensuring that the family was fine. It took a long time to drop my youngest one to the school because he just didn't want to go in. And we had to talk through that, and we had to do what? We had to emotionally regulate, talk through everything, talk about what we're going to do when you come home today, and we're going to bake a cake, and we're going to do all of this, and what does this mean? And I know you're feeling scared, but this is what growth looks like. And at the same time, anytime you can call mom and I will come and get you. But this is what courage means. You do feel a little bit shy and a bit sort of scared, but as long as you are actually safe, you've got to sometimes tell them, I know I am safe, and I do want to do this, just feel a little bit shy, but I'm just going to take it step by step. And then you went in. So when you really master these skills, you can really lead with clarity and confidence. You can show up powerfully in your career and business, and create a legacy of calmness, confidence, conviction for yourself and for your beautiful family. Okay. And just coming from a place of calmness and unconditional love, and showing that you can go out there and create incredible things, but actually you're also unattached to the titles and to everything else. But it's just a beautiful experience that you want you all to experience, right, in this lifetime. So it's more than leadership. This is really about legacy and creating a beautiful experience that you're proud of, right? But you're leading by example, okay, through your own your own action. So finally, I just want to introduce you to the next step in your leadership journey. Now, yesterday we talked about the first pillar. Actually, I have one offer, which is the Wealthy Warrior Leaders Mastermind. Okay, it's one offer, it's 25K, and most people come in at that point. But there are different levels of it. Okay, there are 4 other different levels if that's something you want to explore. So yesterday we talked about Resilient Leadership, which is a monthly option. Monthly class option. It's more of DIY and it's $99 per month. Today, I just want to introduce you to the Legacy Leader Creator, Legacy Leader Accelerator. Okay, so this program is for professionals and entrepreneurs who are really ready to master emotional resilience and self-leadership. Okay, I'm just going to put this here so you can see it. We are going to be building advanced strategies for career and business growth. Create balance and purpose in your life. And here's what you get. You're going to get the monthly workshop. You get the monthly masterclass that is in the Resilient Leadership I talked about yesterday. But in this month, you actually get a monthly workshop, right? Which means a module every single week. And this is going to be on leadership, in business, in career, in family, and also the actual strategies. It's not just the emotional healing side of it. It is, and regulation, it is the strategy. You get group sessions. Okay, so you're going to be getting group coaching sessions for guidance and support. And this is done, so group coaching sessions. And you are also going to be part of community. And as I said, you will still be getting the Resilient Leadership Academy. Okay, so this is $4,999 for the year, so 5K. Or there is a monthly option for $499 per month. Okay, so up to you, whichever one you prefer. And you can DM me with the word legacy. So DM me the code word legacy or comment below and I will send you over the details. And there are some incredible juicy bonuses as well when you pay in full, including one-to-one options as well. So I will post all the bonuses down below after this recording, so you will see more details of that. And also, if you haven't got your books yet, then comment the word books and I'll send those over to you. And do get your book your DM consults. So the consults are held over DMs. This is just so that I can get through to everybody whilst also working full time and in my legacy building. So book in your consult and your audit. Send you so much love and light. Do the homework and bring your questions to our consult. It's complimentary. Answer the questions, and then bring your answers or any questions to the consult. Okay, and there, if you feel called to it, we can talk about other ways that we can work together, and also just really getting the best out of this workshop. All right, sending so much love and light, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you. Bye.